Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we got to put a grade on the 49ers. 2 picks in the first round. We're going to dive into both Kinlaw and Aiyuk. Before we do that, though, give this video a thumbs up if you guys think the 49ers had a very good first round. If you guys like what they did in the first round, give this video a thumbs up right now. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so we start with the first pick the 49ers had at number 14 overall, not at number 13 overall. It was Javon Kinlaw, the defensive tackle out of USC. The Niners trade back one spot. We'll talk about that in a second. But they essentially fill the hole left by DeForest Buckner, although it does come at a little bit of a surprise to me because CeeDee Lamb and the other wide receivers were still available. I talked a lot about how the 49ers were probably going to go ahead and get a wide receiver at number 13 overall, especially if the top receivers were still there, and guess what they were? And then they went defensive tackle with Javon Kinlaw. Here's the deal. Quick thoughts on this one is that Kinlaw's a beast. He's going to be great. I think he's going to be a great addition to the 49er defensive front. They're going to be very, very good. And I think overall, you should be very excited about what the Niners did at number 14 overall. Am I surprised it was not a wide receiver? Yes. But it's still a great pick by John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and the rest of the 49er gang. Listen, if you want to go ahead and get the new Javon Kinlaw jersey, they're already up, and we got them for you guys at chatsports.com/49ers1 is the place to do it. Link is in the description right now. Chatsports.com/49ers1 is the place to go ahead and get not only your Aiyuk, but your Kinlaw jersey as well, as of course they're all authentic as we always have here at Chat Sports overall. So go ahead and get that jersey. Pick up your new Javon Kinlaw or Brandon Aiyuk jersey right now. Back to talking about Kinlaw overall, I'll go ahead and give you my grade for this pick. Honestly, it's an A-. It's not an A+, it's not a home run, because I still think a wide receiver here, CeeDee Lamb, would have been my choice, because I've just been a CeeDee Lamb fan. I thought he was the best receiver in this draft, but alas, here's the deal. The trade overall made a ton of sense. Let's go ahead and start with that in terms of the Niners giving up number 13 overall and then giving a later round pick, 245. Tampa Bay comes up one, but they gave up that 4th round draft pick, which should be very important later, of course, with the Brandon Aiyuk trade. And then the 49ers went ahead and took Javon Kinlaw. Now, again, we talked about him. He's a beast. The comparison that I heard that I really love is Fletcher Cox from the Eagles, one of the best interior defensive linemen, but bigger and stronger, which seems almost impossible because Fletcher Cox is as big and strong as they come. The big deal why I give this an A- is the Niner defensive front is the best bar none in the NFL. It's stupid good right now. Bosa, Kinlaw, Armstead, and Ford are your starting 4 in San Francisco. What defensive front is that good? I mean, that is as good a defensive front as we've seen in a very, very long time. Kinlaw not only stops the run, he's a great pass rusher interior on the inside as well. You put him next to Eric Armstead, and that is going to be as scary a defensive front as you can find in San Francisco. Why it's an A- and not an A+? Well, it's pretty simple. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, AJ Terrell, Kenneth Murray, those were all the players that were still available. I was on the Chat Sports live coverage of round 1. We were talking about who they had taken number 14, and I told everybody it's probably going to be CeeDee Lamb, and I got a lot of flack for saying and getting you guys' hopes up that it would be CeeDee Lamb, and guess what? Essentially what happened here is that myself and other 49er people covering them and following them, and even fans like you guys, bought into the Kool-Aid hype of CeeDee Lamb. Now, CeeDee Lamb going to be a great receiver? I think so. I'm surprised that he fell all the way down to Dallas at number 17 overall, but whenever you go for San Francisco, you got to think Kyle Shanahan's going to try and scheme his wide receivers open, and they decided to be safe with getting a wide receiver later on in the first round, and thereby going with Javon Kinlaw out of USC, who, again, let's talk about this one more time. Look at the starting 4 for the 49ers. Look at this. Bosa, Kinlaw, Armstead, Ford. That is going to be stupid good. And for everyone who wanted a wide receiver at number 14 overall, you got to think about that right there and think about how good that is and go, okay, guess what? Our defense just got better, and it's going to be very, very good going into the 2020 season. And then, of course, we'll talk about it here in a second, the Niners did eventually get their wide receiver, which makes this pick look all the more better. Quick ad break here on YouTube, but I want to hear from you guys. Do you like the Javon Kinlaw pick? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no right now. All right, moving on. They had a second pick. It just came not where we expected it. The Niners traded up from number 31 overall to number 25 with the Vikings, and they got Brandon Aiyuk, the wide receiver out of Arizona State, which to me was one of the big shockers of the first round, not named Jordan Love to the Green Bay Packers, which was very, very odd. This is a guy with tremendous run after the catch abilities, and the other thing I want to say straight off the bat before I give my grade Kyle Shanahan must have loved him. Like, the only way he went this high in the draft is that Shanahan and GM John Lynch fell absolutely in love with Brandon Aiyuk. Before we talk more about Aiyuk's fit with the 49ers, be sure to subscribe not only here to the 49ers Report, but also to our main Chat Sports channel, because over there, we'll have full round 2 and 3 coverage. We did round 1 last night, and we're going to do rounds 2 and 3 live at youtube.com/chatsportstv for you guys to watch the NFL draft. We had like 50,000 people watching last night, so come hang out for round 2 and round 3 as we'll have you guys covered here at Chat Sports. Now, what's Mott's grade? A B-. Now, I thought about a C because I think there were some better wide receivers still on the board, but then I thought about it and I went, you know what? I trust Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan looks at Brandon Aiyuk, who has decent size, sitting there right about 6 foot, 5'11", 205, but his run after catch abilities are one of the best in the NFL draft, probably behind like Jalen Reagor, Laviska Shenault. I mean, this guy catches the football and makes explosive plays. So you see what Kyle Shanahan is thinking here. He said, I can scheme to get him open. Like, I can scheme this guy open. I'll get the football to Brandon Aiyuk, and then he can just do the rest. What we did, or what the 49ers were able to do with Brandon Aiyuk is get a guy who potentially can come in and be the next #1 wide receiver for San Francisco, and hopefully will be a great complement next to Deebo Samuel. Now, did they get a guy who is a deep threat and over-the-top wide receiver like we had talked about at the 49ers Report, that being a need for the 49ers? No. I mean, Brandon Aiyuk, you heard Tom Downey mention it during the broadcast live last night, had one deep catch last year. He had one deep ball caught. Like, that was it. Of course, it's not exactly exciting for 49er fans to hear, but I think, again, this is probably Kyle Shanahan thinking, listen, I'll scheme him open. Jimmy Garoppolo will give him the football, and he'll do a ton of run after catch, and he'll break games open, and we'll be very, very excited to have him in San Francisco. Now, how he's going to fit into the starting lineup with our 49ers, I see Deebo technically being wide receiver 1, although it doesn't really matter. I think Aiyuk there's probably #2, Hurds at 3, and Dante Pettis is probably going to be at #4. That could also be Taylor, or it could be Bourne, or it could be someone else there being #4. But overall, I think he's going to be playing a lot. He's going to be asked to do a lot in this offense, and really, San Francisco needed to get a wide receiver, and they did by moving up to number 25 overall. And there were other wide receivers on the board. I thought this could potentially be Denzel Mims, maybe a T. Higgins out of Clemson. They moved up from 31, which means another team was probably very interested in coming up to go ahead and get a Brandon Aiyuk, which tells you that other teams were high on him, so the 49ers being high on him made a lot of sense as well. The wide receiver class was elite this year. It is elite this year, and obviously you're going to have 2nd and 3rd rounds, and we'll see what the Niners do with their later round draft picks coming up here in the next couple of days, but showing that they could have gotten any wide receiver here would have been exciting. We could have made the case for Mims, we could have made the case for Shenault, we could have made the case for Higgins, we could have made the case for Chase Claypool. I mean, you could have made the case for any of these wide receivers, and I could have come on here on the 49ers Report and sung their praises, but Brandon Aiyuk obviously is a fan, or obviously was a big time target for Kyle Shanahan to move up to go ahead and get him. And by giving up, that 117 overall pick that you obviously gave up in the 4th, or you obviously got from the Javon Kinlaw trade, I think shows that GM John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan continue to be able to maneuver well in the NFL draft. They drafted well last year, and again, showing you they did a very good job here in the 1st round. What grade would you guys give the 49ers 1st round overall? Would you guys give it an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F? I think you're in that B+ to A- range. Again, Niners did not have a lot of holes, and they plugged their 2 biggest holes. They needed a D tackle, they needed a wide receiver, and they got 2 of the better ones in the entire NFL draft. Kinlaw was obviously the 2nd best one behind Derek Brown, who went to Carolina. And then Aiyuk, honestly, we'll just wait and see. And I know a lot of people wanted Lamb, and I was one of them, and people wanted Judy, and obviously Ruggs was already gone. But this is a player that Kyle Shanahan obviously thinks he can go ahead and scheme and get open, and hopefully he is right in terms of making him a star wide receiver in the NFL draft. And now, no 2nd round draft picks. There was no trade back for the 49ers out of the 1st round from number 31 overall. They obviously have some later round draft picks to go ahead and make some moves with. I don't expect them to come back in for day 2, although you never know, and that's why you go ahead and watch our broadcast at youtube.com/chatsportstv, but they'll try and maybe get some role players, some bench players, some backup guys in the later rounds, but overall, again, this was a successful 1st round for the 49ers. I like what they did. We'll have to wait and see what Aiyuk turns out to be. He can return kicks and maybe he runs after catch well. We'll just wait and see what happens with him, but Kinlaw at 14, maybe not the pick that Thomas Mott wanted, but still a pick the 49er fans, and I think a lot of you guys are going to go ahead and love overall. All the time we have for today for the 49ers Report. I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day.